Jen, you're welcome to have some of my water, but see, the rub is that I want to drink some of my water. Jen Sullivan, everybody, my Zen kitty. Or she might be brain damaged. I haven't quite decided which. Or maybe, can't it be both? So, what should I. This is kind of like playing a game. I like playing games. Do you like playing games? We want to play games. Shift your ontology if you need to. I'm talking about the fun social interaction that builds intimacy and can reveal a person's character and or integrity, give you clues that if they're keeping a facade, a polish, a face forward, what's the purpose of it? To fool you, to keep secret what if when you take off the clothes, what you then discover what you're in for, but you're probably in too deep by then. Yeah, yeah, the false face. So you got to keep that in mind when somebody's trying to gull you. Yeah, I've been gullible. When someone's trying to gull you, grift you, cheat you, fool you, smoke and mirrors. Um, come in from other angles in your research, awareness, interactions, interdictions. I just threw that in there. I don't think that applies. So yeah, people kind of like the body language thing. The I've read some of the body language books and watched some videos. I mentioned TED Talks. They probably have something along that lines. Yeah, I was talking about that one. Yeah, I love women. Sorry, I'm going. I'm going forward, but I'm actually going backwards. Jack back words. Um, I love women, and I love real women, unblemished women. I feel sympathy for the feminine plight, and as a male, I say you don't need to polish up for me. Come as you are. I want the human. Gender, well, I don't deal with gender very much these days, but I've got a daughter that I guess is now a son. Her husband and her, I won't get into the detail of who they are and their history, but last time I saw them, I guess they had decided to switch genders on both sides. So now the husband's the wife and the wife's a husband. And throw in an autistic brother, and I've got a killer idea for a TV pilot that I would love Rob Reiner or Ron Howard to look at and see if they were interested in doing something with it. I tell you what, well, Jen, yeah, come over here, Jen. Jen, come here. She's trying to get at the ice water, but she doesn't feel confident about it. Yeah, just hang out there. I will watch your tail twitch or not. Well, it's like I always tell you, if you're going to wave your tail in my face, I'm going to grab it. It's a game we play. So, games, yeah, very big on games. Why? Well, the potential intimacy, trust, integrity, yada yada. Getting to know other people, right? And playing games is fun. And our two main watchwords is fun and joy. Yeah, usually when you're having fun playing a game with people, don't you feel like you're enjoying it? And why do you say enjoying unless you're talking about joy? Maybe I'm too logical. I don't know. So games are very. I'd like to have a role for just a game master that would put on like Saturday night games or something, or Friday night or Tuesday night. Tuesday night's game night. We play GURPS Traveler or something, and there's a game master that runs that. Because I've been playing role playing games or been interested in them. I'm old enough to be around when Dungeons and Dragons first came in, and Dungeons and Dragons, Gary Gygax and his bunch at, I guess, Wisconsin College, I think is where, what they did, the origin of Dungeons and Dragons, maybe you've heard of Dungeons and Dragons. It was originally a medieval lead miniatures rule. You have these little toy lead miniatures, and they look like armies and medieval armies. It was supposed to be medieval based. Well, what they decided to do is they added an appendix that was exploring a hypothetical, big fans of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and stuff, right? And so, to sum it up pretty quickly, basically their idea was, well, can we add dungeons and dragons, fantasy world stuff, wizards, magic, medieval level world and stuff, right? So that's what they're going for. And okay, here we go. I think they found out that that appendix, which led to Dungeon and Dragons, is the bigger part of the project. I don't know if their medieval miniatures rules ever caught on or was profitable or anything. And they're college students, so kind of hobbyish. Um, so so yeah, that's where the first Dungeons Dragons. I had somewhere, I think I still have it. Some of the first printings came in a box, and you had like three little booklets and stuff. There is so many ways to make money. I could follow that case study through to um okay, the Dungeon and Dragons company was TSR, right? And in about the time that Wizards of the Coast hit it big with um Magic the Gathering, quite an entrepreneurial phenomenon. And I know the case study. I was there. I was there. Wizards of the Coast was based in Renton, Washington, which is very close to my stomping grounds. And my brother, one of my brothers, was like the first, like, second year or so, he was adopting it and going to conventions and having the artists sign in gold ink their signature and all this kind of stuff. So, the because of the pervasiveness of it, a lot of Magic the Gathering collectible cards really aren't worth that much. But again, like most things, key issues or key items and stuff. And we got into buying, eventually I ended up spending like $500 on the stuff. I mean, that's the magic. They took something that typically the business model would have been to sell the game for like 30 or 40 bucks. And once somebody buys it from you, except for maybe some expansion stuff, you're done. And so the software used to be like this too. It's very prone to saturation because you've got your niche, you've got your customers, but they're finite. So you're doing great for 2 or 3 years, and then unless you've got something new or you're attracting new customers, you're done because they've got what they want. They don't need to buy it again. And what Magic the Gathering did, they did like three or four major innovative things that just exploded. By the way, 2024 is going to be an explosive year. I just don't know the details yet. I can suspect them, but I'm pretty convinced 2024 is going to be a historically explosive year, whatever that means. So we're talking about like 93, 94, something like that. I bought the first booster packs I bought for Magic the Gathering was like third year stuff. They had booster packs, and then they had another series of booster packs, and then there was stuff that I was buying new. And my brother had gotten into it. He got us into it actually. So he bought like the first year to the 2 year stuff, the very early stuff. Anyhow, why I brought it up is TSR made a deal with, I believe it was Walden Books, one of the book chains. They made a deal with them and it went sour. They ended up losing money, and it's a business case study thing that happens. It's called, well, I don't know what it's called, but it's overextension. You grabbed for the brass ring and you didn't make it and you fell off your horse, so to speak. Brass ring is a metaphor thing from the old carousels with the horses and stuff on them. So you reached for the brass ring and you fell off. And that's what happened to TSR. They put themselves in a very bad situation, might have even gone bankrupt, all because they made this big, desirable deal with a big book chain, new book chain, actually, Golden Books, I think it was. So they were severely down, if not bankrupt, and Wizards of the Coast was just making millions and millions, just they could the money sticking out all their clothes, and they couldn't spend it fast enough. I'm sure it was very interesting for the founders. So they bought TSR. They bought Dungeons and Dragons. So not only did they have a hit product, innovative product that just was taken off, and they're still doing it as far as I know. Um, but they bought like the biggest name other than maybe Disney or something. They bought like the biggest name in fantasy, the famous Dungeons and Dragons. They own it. They do today. They carried on printing the novels, writing and printing the novels and expansion packs and stuff. And if you look at it, it won't say TSR, it'll say Wizards of the Coast. But it's kind of carried on the tradition, which is nice. I'm not sure whatever happened to Avalon Hill. I might have to look that up. Yeah, Avalon Hill was a very good game. They were the originators of strategy and tactics board games back in the 60s. In fact, most of the games you'll see, they have a hexadecimal map like we're used to in games now. But the first one was a tank battle game, and it used like graph paper. It was a grid, square grids. Just a bit of trivia. If you're not interested, well, first of all, I'm into vintage and collectible games. I've got some really cool collectible games around here. And I have some very rare and interesting ones, but they're shrink wrapped. So they could be listed as like new or new. And again, yeah, but I want to use it. You're sitting there not doing anything. Take the shrink wrap off. Let's play it. As far as value, resale value, you've just proverbially put it in the toilet. Bounce.